Welcome back, Mr. Goodberry. The First Star Logistics studio is fully equipped and ready to record.
Today on Bengals on the Brain, presented by First Star Logistics, we are diving into the off season. And yeah, we've kind of done that already, previewing what we're going to look at, looking back at some tape, looking at how the remaining 8 playoff teams compared to the Bengals. We've done all of these things, and people have asked, when are you going to start watching tape on draft prospects? Well, I'm here to tell you, it starts today. And we're going to start with one guy that I think a lot of people were excited when the Bengals potentially were picking top 10, top 12 when Joe Burrow first went down. They're like, hey, at least you'll get this guy. Now that the Bengals are picking 18th, do they still have an opportunity to get Georgia's Brock Bowers, the tight end that everyone has been asking about? Bengals need a tight end. Sure, they have Tanner Hudson. They probably have Drew Sample. Both guys are free agents, and I expect them both to be retained. But what does Brock Bowers offer? Is he worth that pick? Is he worth trading up for? I think that's going to be maybe the conclusion we come to at the end. Is it worth going and getting your guy? Very similar to how the Bills spent a 4th-round pick to trade up and get Dalton Kincaid ahead of the Bengals and the Cowboys, too. I got the dogs down here if you hear them making noises. But let's dive into the film. Brock Bowers out of Georgia. Is he everything we want out of tight end?
I've got 3 games loaded up here. I already watched it, already cut it. I wouldn't call these highlights. It just so happens that these are 3 really good games for Brock Bowers. I watched 6 games in total. Felt like these were the 3 representative games. We've got Auburn, Kentucky, because they're 2 big receiving games. I wanted to make sure we get as many targets in there as possible. And then we've got Alabama, of course, because anytime you've got a guy, offensive line, defensive line, linebackers, but also to me, let's put in tight ends, any trench players, I want to watch them against Alabama. And I want to see how they do. So first game up is Auburn, then we'll go Kentucky, then we'll go to Alabama and finish it off. Yes, that is Brock Bowers in the backfield with the big orange circle around him. You'll see either a yellow arrow or an orange circle. And Brock Bowers is back there. So if you're wondering, hey, how can we continue to do this with Drew Sample as the 3rd down back? You may be able to do some of that with Brock Bowers. Let's let it roll, and we'll see what they do here for the Georgia offense. And Bowers is going to leak out, and it's just basically you got a blocker out in front. I'm not sure if I would call that a screen, more like a swing pass with a lead blocker as the linemen stay in pass protect. But still, shows some versatility, shows that they are creating touches for their young stud tight end. I would like to see a little bit more after the catch there, but we will get to that, and we will get plenty of it out of Brock Bowers. There he is on the line of scrimmage here. And most of these tight angles will be run blocking plays. We want to see how physical is he? How strong is he? Where's his technique? Where's his awareness at that? And how much does he affect these big defensive players? Nice bootleg action. Peel him across the line here. This is something the Bengals will run a whole bunch, but their tight ends are not that fast getting out in front. It is a definite nice attribute to see that. Here he is as the up back on a 3rd and short, I'm sorry. And for Brock Bowers to get this carry, he's going to give a little counter jab step to the outside as if he's going to block to the outside. He's going to take this right up the middle. This despite a little bit of contact there, penetration from their defensive tackle from Auburn. And he's going to pick up that 1st down, which again speaks to the versatility of how you can use him. And so they bring him off and across so many times in to make it look like he's blocking, and they leak him out for a pass. We saw that earlier, right? As he comes across and then he'll leak out and go out into the flats for a pass. This time he will block, and I want you to see I slow it down for when he connects with this Auburn player. Watch the head snap. Bam. I mean, you are coming in full speed. That guy drops, and I will take that all day for my tight end, especially a move tight end. Well, here he is on the right side this time. We got more blocking. Can you wash the line down? Can you force this guy inside? And I would say he does here. It's not his fault. Number 9 kind of misses his block, or maybe the edge guy. There's some miscommunication there going on the right side for him to not block that guy. But Bowers does his job. Again, watch him ride this guy and get a pancake. I mean, this is a A+ block by Bowers. First, watch him connect with this defensive end and then lock him out, ride him, and finish. That is a great block for the young Brock Bowers. He's 20 years old during this game. He didn't turn 21 until December. We got almost a fake release, like he's going to release inside. Then he takes it upfield once the DB opens up. This ends up falling incomplete. You see Bowers sees the ball. His eyes are on it. And then we're going to see this a few times. It's a growing trend. Tyler Eifert would have high pointed this one and got up over the guy. I'd like to see that more from Bowers. So if I'm critiquing him as a receiver, there's quite a few deep balls that I saw while watching tape where I'm like, why didn't he come down with that? Here we're running the post here versus split safeties. And this one is going to fall incomplete as well. It's out of his range, out of his body. Got to catch it with your hands. Safety comes over, does a good job knocking it out. Had he have caught that, I would have really enjoyed it. I'm not going to kill him too much for that one because it may just be a good play by the defender. I really like this route by Bowers. And we're going to see it a lot when you've got that second level defender covering you and how you've got to manipulate him. You got to get him to pause and then dip around him, especially if he's going to follow you and chase you in coverage. It's a bad throw. There's pressure up the middle, so whatever. But the route is good, and we're going to see that theme a few times where he's going to have to shake that linebacker. Blocking on the edge, does his job again. We're going to get a lot of screens to Bowers as well. Tunnel screens. And that's also a good thing. I mean, like this doesn't go for anything, but if I could take a second, we talk about versatility and speed and yak guys for this Bengals offense and how they need to get more of them. It can't just be Jamar Chase, right? Using your tight end, if you have a tight end to do that, that's a rare thing. If you've got a tight end you feel you can throw screens to and he's going to get yak plays, he's going to create after the catch, and you can have a player like that that offers more positional versatility, that would be awesome. It's almost like having a safety that can cover a tight end and you feel comfortable with it, or a running back that can split out wide and run routes. So we're going to release the second level. We got to beat this second level defender, dip around him. You're going to see here, there should have been contact. 13 wanted to contact him, but he does a good job dipping under, turning, facing the quarterback, catching it with his hands, transitioning into a runner, and getting upfield. Blocking out on the edge this time, kicking out, taking the corner, doing his job, and getting the running back to the end zone. Bowers coming in motion this time. It's going to be a fake, like he's blocking the screen. He's going to release upfield, make a transition, and then give me some yards after the catch. And I'm going to pause it here for a second to talk about yards after the catch at the tight end position. It is a big position for sneaky hidden yardage, and a lot of it comes in the form of yards after the catch. These guys are bigger than most of the defensive backs. All of the defensive backs, to be honest with you, if they're 240 and up, which is 240 is small for a tight end, he's bigger than every safety. He's bigger than a lot of linebackers at that spot. And now they've turned into such good athletes that it is a yak position. The Bengals got none of that. And they did get some explosive plays out of like Drew Sample making a guy miss and taking it in for a touchdown, but you can't depend on that. That's not who Drew Sample is. He made a nice play a couple times this year, but Tanner Hudson was ranked near the bottom of the league. Irv Smith as well. Like that just wasn't an area where they've had a guy that could do this. Brock Bowers is one of the best yards after catch tight ends that we've studied in a long, long time. And you're going to see it on plays like this as he releases upfield, just makes an ordinary catch. It's a little towards his back hip, but he runs through a guy, carries another, and then splits two guys and gets another 2 or 3 yards out of it at the end at the tackle. Huge. We're getting another deep slot fade for Bowers. The fact that you can run a slot fade with a tight end because he's fast enough is crazy. He doesn't come down with it, though. Again, eyes up, looking for the ball, locates it. Now drift away and let your hands fall over your shoulder. He kind of leans into the DB and then sticks one out. I'm not sure this is a bad throw, more of just like instead of running this route and leaning in, like you've got the fade here. You can lean away. You want to get on top of the DB and then fade away from him. and the ball would have landed about right here, which is perfectly fine, acceptable. I don't think that was necessarily a bad throw. It felt like he tracked that a little bit poorly, which again was a trend I saw out of Bowers. Now we're getting a couple really, really nice plays out of Brock Bowers. Here he is to the left. He's going to run up the seam here. And I love his route. And then to arc back here as the ball's coming, one hand, snag it and reel it in. Oh, that's a bad throw that he makes an incredible catch on. Not only is he stretching the seam vertically, but man, when you can pluck balls out of the air like that, and we get another one back to back, one-handed catches out of Brock Bowers. He sees no one's covering him, split safeties, snags this thing one-handed. Watch him just grab this thing mid-flight. Bam! Look at that long arm. Those paws, pulls it in, takes a hit, carries guys for a few. Hell yeah, Brock Bowers. In the slot to our left, standing up. Again, another really nice route. He's really manipulating these safeties and linebackers in coverage here. Watch him to the left here. You'll see what I'm saying as he leans inside, right? And he's got to lean inside here because the DB, we've talked about this, or the defender, it's not a DB here, it might be the linebacker. He's got inside shade, right? He's inside of Bowers. So if you want to run this to the outside, whenever you're inside here, I'm trying to protect this inside. So I want to threaten as the route runner. I want to threaten like I'm going that way because what's that going to do for the defender? He's going to lean farther into it because he doesn't want to get beat inside. So when you watch Bowers right off the release, run at him. You want to get on this defender's toes, and he does. Now it's vertical. Now he's the defender has gone inside, and now he's got to run vertical. He's got to flip his hips and go with you. And I'm telling you, he doesn't look like he can run with Bowers at all here. So now Bowers is eventually going to, once he gets up vertically, he's going to get up here and he's got to cut and break out this way. And watch how clean and sharp this outbreaking route is afterwards. You watch the foot drag. You see the dirt come up? That's him slowing down at a rapid pace. That is good route running. You drag that back foot to slow you down. That way, you're still running as fast as possible, but that back foot allows you to drag, get in and out of your break, and get open. Now we got to catch over the middle. We've got some broken tackles. We've got Bowers. This is a close game. This is a go-ahead touchdown in the fourth quarter, and we're going to watch Bowers route running again from this spot. Okay? Let me let it roll once and then bring it back. So we've got here, I want you to notice the safety. You really can't see him, but right there, if you could tell, he's angling this way. The safety doesn't want to get beat inside, and we already know already that Bowers is going to break this to the inside, right? So how do you get that safety out of there and make him go this way instead? Well, Bowers does it with this nice head fake at the top of the route because it's really zone coverage. You got a guy focusing in here. You've got this guy coming out this way. It's really the safety that has the inside middle of the field here. So get him out of the way, get him out of the way, and then attack the middle. So watch the head fake. Boom. Snap it inside quick. Face the quarterback, attack the ball with your hands, reel it in, and then make guys miss and run through tackles. Brock Bowers, have yourself a day. That is who he is in a nutshell. I could just give you that game and say that's who Brock Bowers is, but he didn't have enough blocking snaps in this one. We will get that through the next two here. Here he is in pass protection. If that's your kink, which some coaches do have that, and he does his job. We got a nice throw there and a touchdown. But we're not watching those guys. We'll get to any other draft prospects as we continue. Tunnel screen for Bowers again. I like the versatility. Doesn't end up being much here. We will get one, I think, in this game later. We get one versus Alabama too, where he really is able to pick up some extra yardage here. Play action here gives him a free middle of the field as he comes in motion from the right side. Doesn't really have to do much here. The ball is a little bit behind him. He has to slow down for and allows the DB to catch him and drag him down for a tackle. Again, just shows his speed vertically upfield. I like this. It was like a fake wide receiver screen. It might have been a running back out there. Yeah, 86. I don't know. Wide receiver screen where it looks like Bowers is going to come out and block this first defender, right? and you would throw it out to this guy and he would run. But instead, what they do is they end up releasing all these linemen upfield, and Bowers fakes the block and comes in and has like a tunnel screen over the middle. And I love it. That's a great design. Can we incorporate that? Can we pick that up? Or is that something that only works in college? Because it gets solid yardage after the catch here. Sorry, I almost fumbled my words a bit. Solid yards after the catch. That's what we're looking for. And I like this block too. We saw Tyler Boyd in the last game kind of, on some of these blocks, right? But even getting your hand on 4 or the defender, I can't really see where it lands. I'm assuming he puts it on the defender to help force that guy inside. Because then if he goes inside and you can get this blocker inside, well, then our running back is going to take this and follow Bowers, right? So the fact that you can do this and have move type blocks with him because he's athletic enough, that's an asset to your offense. So let's watch it. He's going to help out his teammate, climb up, get to the next guy, wall him off, 86 with a big gain down the right side. All because you got an athlete at tight end, to be honest with you. We're blocking on the edge again. Bowers, watch the next snap back when they make contact. Yeah, that's some power behind there. That's what you want your tight end to do. Because these are D linemen right there. I mean, we're not blocking always safeties or linebackers. Sometimes we got to take those D ends, even sometimes D tackles. Here he gets a little washed out, that guy gets upfield, uses that inside arm to knock him out there. We got Bowers on the outside here blocking a corner, and he's going to do his job. Ride that guy 15 yards down the field. The flags are on the other receiver who can't block. Bowers can. Now let's get him a route. Let's see if we can get him open here. Oh, he kind of comes short on that route there on that post. Was that a little bit of alligator arms? No, it was a poor throw too far inside. You need to put that right on his back hip, as Joe Burrow would, right? There we got Bowers running a post corner route. I think it's a post corner route. There's a safety in the middle of the field. It could be an adjustment. But either way, let's watch his release as he takes a hand to the face. I mean, you got to deal with contact, right? How are they dealing with contact inside? A lot of tight ends we're going to study this year only play like slot receivers. He's in line doing this, and then there's his post corner, I'm sorry. Transition pretty quickly, yards after the catch. Love it. Big play to the tight end. The Bengals had one pass to a tight end over 20 yards this year, air yards targeted. Oh, they were blocking the D tackle. Okay, good cut, running back. One of them, and we're going to see at least 5 or 6 to Brock Bowers in just 3 games here. So that is an asset and a weapon. Here we go. Another deep ball to Bowers. Should have caught this one, in my opinion. Again, we're going to put a negative on a very, very clean prospect. You see it, eyes up, got it. You've got separation, hands. It was there. Hit your hands, 2 hands. That is a stone cold drop in the end zone for Bowers. Deep catching's different. We talked about this in player evaluation for years. Not everyone is a deep option. Here he sits down versus zone, makes the catch. He is, I think, for being, again, he's 20 in this. Very good versus zone, very intelligent, sees the game very well. And then he's tough after the catch, right? And for a guy who's listed at 6'4", 240, we'll see what he actually is. He's getting a lot of power out of that 240-pound frame. This was a fake, like he's going to block the D end and then release. See him throw him down. I like that. And then he's going to climb up and actually get to 44 down there and block him. Well, the play didn't go for much. I like that you have those options with a little chip there from Bowers. We're moving quickly now as these plays get sort of repetitive. He's blocking again on the edge, does his thing for number 3. I think 3's a corner, so he should. Bowers on the line. He's got to wash these guys down, make sure the second level guys don't climb over. He does his job there, and then everyone gets in and helps. He is included in that. So nothing extraordinary to point out here. He's just doing his job, just blocking. I mean, they're beating Kentucky's rear end here, so fake like he's blocking, go out. Let's give him a little pass to the flats, and let's let him run after the catch. Let's let Bowers be a stallion. Watch this. Take this one off the hip. Eat it. Turn up field. run through contact. That guy bounced off. Keep your feet in. Are you an athlete? Get 4, 5, 6 yards tiptoeing down the sideline. And then we've got Wildcat Brock Bowers going around the outside. Only gets a couple, maybe 1.5. But it's still cool that you can do this, right? Short yardage situations. We see how key that's been in the league last few years now. If you can convert on those short yardage situations, we see guys like Mark Andrews be able to do it. Bowers up the seam. This is a real seam this time, not just middle of the field. Turn your head, eyes up, take the hit, get the hands out, hands catch, and then reel it in before taking the hit. Secure it, roll with it, touchdown, Georgia. Yep, 2 games in a row now. Those were his 2 big receiving games. I wanted to make sure I got that. A lot of blocking in this one because of the blowout. But now Alabama. How do you stack up with the toughest of the toughest? And we got, again, fake block, leak to the flats, and just transition after the catch to get up to full speed and be a runner after the catch. Let's watch Bowers here as this ball is going to be placed on his back hip. Does it slow him down? Does it trip him up? No. Hands, stick. That ball stuck instantly. Turn, run upfield, get up full speed, find contact. Brock Bowers. I'm just going to say his name. That's part of the analysis. That's probably his only loss blocking here. Probably his only loss. I think we have 2 total in this game. But he's going to get outside and just, it's probably a good play by the defender to disengage, pop off that contact, and then fill and make the tackle there. It still ends up being a couple yard gain, but you would like to see him latch onto that and finish. Here he is blocking out for a swing pass. Nothing extraordinary, but he gets in the way. Sometimes it's not as easy to block these because you're blocking athletes in space, corners, safeties, right? So to be able to do it and mirror those guys from the tight end position is key. It's another little wrinkle here. Looks like he's coming across the block. It's a play action play. And then they're going to screen him. And the guy in front of him doesn't get a great block on this. But again, it speaks to his versatility and their confidence in getting the ball in his hands as much as possible. So it's a note rather than, again, these aren't highlights. These are how did they use him? Up the seam again. Again, I don't know this ball tracking when he has to turn and look for it while still running upfield. Is this just a terrible throw or is he just locked in on that guy? If I could post the TV copy there, I thought he could make a catch if he could high point it and reach out in front. Blocking out in space this time. 3 does a good job angling out and then coming back in, or the other way around, angling in and then coming back out. Pass protection. No, we got a screen, and 71 can't get his block. So far, not a big day for Brock Bowers here versus Alabama, but these are the reps we want to see. Here he goes. Here he gets knocked off by number 1. This is the other rep that I thought he could have did better at. Overextends a bit. His weight is forward, and then 1 kind of knocks him off a little. And that's a lost block. We got him in the backfield this time. Let's see if we can get him upfield here. Fake like you're blocking. Release upfield. And this ball is thrown in a weird spot. To me, this is either going back shoulder or you're going to split the safety in the corner if it's cover 3. And we've got, I'm at back corner, back pylon to the left here. I want to go back to that. Explain what I think this is. See how he's angling it that way? So like it looks like he's saying, give me to the back corner unless we've got like a cover 3 situation and maybe I can split up in the seam here. You almost get neither. You throw it like he threw it like right at the back of number 9 here, the guy in coverage. So I'm not sure that helped at all. Again, TV copy showed like he's got one arm pinned down and he tries to just reach. Bowers just tries to reach with his left arm. Poor throw. This is an off script throw. The only one we don't get many. Georgia was very formulaic, very mechanical on offense. They didn't have to really run around and do too much too often. So that's something that you really don't know until it happens. You see, he was trying to go the right way. He got held. I don't think the ball should even have went to him. So whatever. Little Y insert as the lead blocker. He can do that. Or in the slot standing up. I think this is the play where you're going to fake like you're, yep. And then it's the tight end screen. Nice solid gain to make it a short yardage situation. Running through the D tackle there and then contact with Alabama. He's in the slot to the right here. Double move, post route. Just a nice, not actually a double move. It's just a nice head fake at the top. But the post route splitting the safeties. You know you're always in danger here. The ball's out in front. Can you lean in and pluck that ball from hitting the ground? He does. Great grab. So that's the tape on Brock Bowers. He'll be at the draft. 21.4 years old, 6'4", 240 listed as. We don't know yet. Obviously, we'll retouch this after the combine and we get all the official measurements. Those are important in the process. Last year's Georgia Pro Day, I think he ran a 4.48. So if he's running even a 4.5, it's going to probably lock him into the top 12 to 14 draft picks come April. So will he even be there? I don't think so. Like after watching the tape, and again, I don't watch much college football until this draft season starts. So I knew he was good, but I didn't know how good. I give him an 84 in our grading scale, which means take him in the first round. You feel pretty good. I don't know that I put a blue chip on him yet, which would be 85 and above. 84 is as close as you can get to being like a top 5 lock. So because he plays tight end, his numbers though, and we can look at production numbers already because of that season's, the season's over for that. We'll look at athleticism scores after the combine. Production scores though, his yards per route run put him in the 99th percentile. That is a high correlation to NFL success in terms of being a receiver. Means he's probably going to be a tremendous receiver at the college or at the NFL level. 92nd percentile for missed tackles forced per reception. 95th percentile for yak per reception. Again, tremendous. PFF also has a pretty strong correlation for tight end grading, transitioning to the NFL. He's in the 96th percentile. I mean, that's nuts. 99th percentile for passer rating when he's targeted. His numbers are tremendous. Really, really up there. I expect him to test like an elite athlete. He's at a young age. So this is what we want whenever we draft. We want elite athletes at a young age. Don't give me these guys that are 23, 24 years old. Sometimes they're good, but it's case by case basis. And then elite production. Brock Bowers has all of that. That means his chances of becoming an all-pro player at the NFL level are extremely high. I think he'll have elite athleticism. So, we're kind of ahead of the game here. But so does that mean, would we trade up for him? If he got to pick 12, hell yes, I'm in. Do it. Screw that third round pick. I'm trading up. I'm trading T to get that second round pick back, that 33rd pick back, right? And then so it's Bowers and then 2 second round picks. Yeah, that'd be worth it. And then no third? Fine. Deal. Done. Let's do it. So yeah, I'd be in favor of that if that's the conversation. So I think he's worth the pick at 18, 100%. I'd be interested in trading up if he got close. Now, last bit of news before we move on, before we end the show. That's more accurate. Brian Callahan seems to be getting a lot of smoke still for head coaching jobs. He's got a second interview scheduled with the Tennessee Titans. That's usually a good sign that the guy is close to getting an offer, right? I'm thinking that people inside Cincinnati, inside the Bengals building, inside Paycor, are thinking that's a good shot for him to land that job in Tennessee. And if he does, you pivot to Dan Pitcher as the offensive coordinator. The issue there is Dan Pitcher is getting a lot of interest around the league as well. He's already interviewed with the Saints. He's going to interview with the New England Patriots. He has other interests around the league and from some of our rivals as well. So we've got to keep tabs on that. This happened last year. The Bucs were interested in Dan Pitcher, and Brian Callahan was out doing interviews. So the Bengals said, hey, Dan, we'll pay you. We'll give you a little bit of a raise here. You will be the incumbent offensive coordinator if Brian gets a job elsewhere, and it'll be your job. Do you want to go and coach the tanking Bucs, remember at the time, with no quarterback, or do you want to be the heir apparent here, work with Joe Burrow, and then eventually work your way to a head coaching job from that likely position? So he agreed to come back. And now it's pretty much working the way they expected. Callahan is getting these interviews and offers potentially elsewhere. But now that pitcher's out looking around, because what if Callahan doesn't get the job and you can go get an offensive coordinator job this year? You take it, right? Who wouldn't? I think that scares the Bengals a little bit. I think that scares Zach Taylor a little bit. I don't think they want to lose both guys. So what do you do? A similar situation last year. Do you approach Dan Pitcher like, hey, here's even more of a raise. What else do you want? Do we need to make a change at the run game coordinator spot? Who do you want as your quarterback's coach? Do you want to call plays? Most coordinators do. Is that the way we can get play calling taken away from Zach Taylor? I think we have to see how this plays out, but there is some bargaining to be had at the table if you don't want to lose both guys, and the leverage is in the ballpark of each coach, I think here, Callahan and pitcher, to get what they want ultimately, which is a head coaching job for Callahan and an offensive coordinator job for the Bengals. Because if another team's offering your ability to call plays, we see that helps teams eventually get you as a head coach, peg you as a head coach. You may want that from the Bengals. Something to keep an eye on. This is Bengals on the Brain. I'm Joe Goodberry. The show is brought to you by First Star Logistics. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe. It helps us out a lot. Make sure you check out Malik Wright's channel and shows, and Dave Lapham, who's on all the time, and you know who he is, but he puts out good work here as well. Until next time, Houday.
Dave Lapham here, and every day I am grateful for my experience to have played professional football. As a player, I realized self-motivation, leadership, and appreciating your teammates are key. At First Star Logistics, you can use those same attributes to create the life you want for you and your family. Build your future by working hard like I did. You'll see results both on and off the field. Call First Star Logistics today and be part of our winning team.
Opportunity knocking.